Welcome back, everyone. Corvus, the Magistrate's Blade, has been released. I'm going to give you some builds to get you started on this brand new champion. I'm going to do a healer build, a buffer build, and a damage build. Let's get started.
Corvus.
So we're going to build these different decks from the talents. So to unlock all the talents, you do have to level them up a little bit, but that's okay. It doesn't take long. And if you have any boosters, pop those as well. So for the healer build, the first thing we need is spreading influence. What that's going to do is allow you to mark 2 targets, and so basically you'll be able to heal 3 targets at once. For your 2 marked targets, what you're going to do is heal someone who's not marked, and the 2 marked targets will get a percentage of your healing. And so you can mark 3, or you can heal 3 people at once, and so it's going to be very strong. Spreading influence is the talent unlocked at level 8. Let's take a look at the loadout. So for the healer loadout, the price of salvation, you want that level 2, and that's just for your own sustain. When you're playing as a strictly healer, you have to survive and you have to constantly be healing people. So we want to be able to sustain ourselves, and so you're going to get a little bit of healing back when you heal your allies. The next thing is Abyssal Affliction. What that's going to do is reduce the damage taken by an ally healed by Abyssal Reconstruction. So your main heal, they're going to get a damage reduction of 5% for 0.9 seconds. It may not sound like a lot, but it's going to add up. And what that is, it's 5% less healing that you have to do to keep them alive, and it can really make a big difference. The next thing is Shadow Tribunal. Mark of Fate now provides to its target an additional 8% of the healing done to other allies with Abyssal Reconstruction. So with that, your marked target is now going to get an additional 8% healing. So those 2 marks, they're going to get more healing when you heal somebody who doesn't have a mark. Or maybe they do have a mark and vice versa, but it's going to increase the amount of healing that you're doing to the allies that you have marked. Level 4 for that. So the next one is Priority Targets. Level 4, healing an ally with Abyssal Reconstruction reduces the cooldown of projection by 2 seconds. This effect can only occur once every 5 seconds. The reason that we have that is, like I said, it's all about survivability. So the more often you can use your projection, not only is it going to help you with a little bit of crowd control, but it's going to help you move around the map faster. You can teleport with your projection, and so having high mobility is going to increase your survivability. The last thing is Grand Design. Grants marked ally 10% lifesteal, and Corvus shares 100% of that lifesteal. So let's say you throw a mark on a flank, and they're getting 10% lifesteal. So if they full life someone who has 2k HP, that's 200 healing that they're gonna get, and also 200 healing that you're gonna get. And that goes a long way, especially when you have 2 people marked with your mark and you're getting lifesteal from both of them. You're gonna constantly be getting self heals. And so with this first Price of Salvation and Grand Design, with these first and last ones, you might want to shuffle it up a little bit. Just play with it and see what works for you. So that's the healing build. Up next is the buffer build, which they have set this guy up to be a really good buffer, and I'll show you why. We're going to go to talents. For the buff build, we want to do Dark Gifts. Your marked ally gains 15% crowd control reduction, 10% cooldown reduction, and 15% reload speed increase, and they are healed for for 50 every 1 second. This is a buffer build. This is freaking crazy. Whoever you have marked is going to be very godly. Let's just say that. So, of course, right now, every single game, both sides are probably going to have a Corvus in it, and Dark Gifts is the first thing. So there's going to be somebody with this OP mark on them in every game right now. But anyway, let's get into the build. Buffer build. So they've already got all those bonuses from you buffing them. So what we're going to add on to that is the lifesteal. We're going to give them 25% lifesteal this time with Grand Design. Level 5 Grand Design, 25% lifesteal, which is going to in turn give you a lot of that lifesteal back and sustain you. The next thing, Priority Targets. Level 2, healing ally with Abyssal Reconstruction reduces the cooldown of projection. Again, survivability, something that you need to be successful as a healer. You need to survive as a healer. Next, Crushing Expectations. Increase the movement speed of any ally by with the Mark of Fate by 9%. So that person who's already got all these bonuses on them, you're now going to increase their movement speed to 9%. That may not sound like a lot, but as far as base movement speed, it is a lot. You're 9% faster than someone else who's moving at base movement speed. So just something to keep in mind there. It's going to help out a lot. The Price of Salvation, heal for 120, that's sustain. You could probably get away with changing this to something else If you want to do a little more damage, or you want your projection to do a little something else, you could probably get away with changing that. But for now, that's going to be on there to see how it plays. And the last thing, gain a 390 health shield for 3% after dropping 2 or below 35%. So we have several abilities on this deck that are for survivability, and the reason why is because if you die, your mark goes away, so the person that you're buffing no longer has the buff. And so if you can stay alive, just by virtue of you having the buff on that person, they're getting all of those bonuses that we mentioned before, in addition to what's on this loadout. So this loadout is going to make whoever you're buffing extremely strong. Just buff, heal, try to survive, crowd control if you can, but just having that additional buff is going to make a huge difference on any role, flank, tank, damage. It doesn't matter. It's going to make them very strong. And the last one's damage. Sometimes you got to go damage as a support. You got to carry your team. This is all about preventing a reload, being able to continually shoot. So for the damage build, let's go back to our talents.
Corvus.
Again, you're not going to have all the talents up front, but with this build you will. With this next build you'll have to level up to 2, I'm sorry, but that won't take you long. So Stunning Visage, you don't have to do this talent, but as far as being able to kill somebody, it's going to make a big difference. So now your projection stuns people for 1 second. That, and well, your teleport makes you take damage, but don't worry about that. But anyway, being able to stun someone and then actually attack them is a huge thing, because if you stun someone, you should be getting nothing but headshots. And headshots in this game are crucial if you want to do a lot of damage, if you're trying to improve your damage. So you stun, headshot, boom, 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 you stun their healer, headshot, boom, 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 boom. They're close, maybe someone finishes them or you finishing them, and then you're good to go. Now let's look at the actual loadout. So first thing, increase maximum ammo count by 12. It doesn't sound like a lot, but having that buffer and with the other cards I'm about to show you is going to help you between reloads. It's going to help you keep your ammo up between reloads. The next thing is increase your movement speed by 18% for 3 seconds after activating projection. We're going to be using projection a lot with this. And so if you stack it, this is going to be definitely a more complicated playstyle, but if you stack everything properly, you're going to be very strong. So 18% is huge, obviously, for 3 seconds. That's going to give you very high mobility. So next, Crushing Expectations, increase the movement speed of a marked ally by Mark of Fate by 6%. You're still playing the role as a support, and this is just going to play on what you're already doing when you're leaning towards the capabilities of doing damage. Next, generate 6 ammo after healing an ally with Abyssal Reconstruction. So essentially, you should be generating 6 ammo a lot, because you should be healing allies every time that Abyssal Reconstruction is cooled down. You should be healing someone who needs a heal. This is like going to be in lieu of a reload here. So just keep that in mind, and then you might want to shuffle some of the points around if you want to increase that, but that's level 3. Ominous Relic. Next, Unwielding Discipline. Reduce the cooldown of projection by 0.6 for each enemy. You hit 2 enemies, 1.2 seconds, 3, 1.8, and so on. So using your projection is actually going to reduce the cooldown of it. On top of that, you're getting an increased movement speed bonus every time you do projection. You don't even have to teleport in order to get that movement speed bonus. So you're going to be fast a lot, and it's going to annoy flanks that are trying to kill you. So those are the 3 builds. Definitely play around with it a little bit. You know, I always like playing around with builds, see what works better. But those are 3 builds to get you started. Let me know how it works out for me, or for you. Let me know if you're liking the new champion. He looks super cool. And I hope everyone's doing well during COVID. Please like, subscribe, and until next time, thanks for watching.